Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode. My guests this week, BTS, were not able to make it because they told me that I am not their idol. But luckily, we have my sister Kamala joining us to fill in for hosting duties. Welcome, Kamala. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the 1989 Disney film, The Little Mermaid, because you may think you know, but you don't know. The gist of it is that 16-year-old mermaid princess Ariel is kind of a free spirit, doesn't really fit in.
I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in.
And she dreams about going to she's fascinated by the human world. With her best friend, Flounder, like they have this kind of like a grotto where they collect all these human artifacts like dishes and basically anything that falls from like into the ocean. And King Triton, her father, is very much against mer people and humans interacting, like it's forbidden. But one night, Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian the crab, who serves as Triton's kind of like advisor or right-hand man sort of thing, they travel to the ocean surface to watch a celebration of Prince Eric's birthday on a ship. And Ariel falls in love with this guy because that's all it takes, people, is to just watch someone celebrate a birthday on a ship and get drunk. And then a violent storm comes and the ship is shipwrecked, and Eric is knocked overboard, but Ariel rescues him and brings him to the shore, and then she starts singing to him, and then he regains consciousness. But Ariel has to flee to like avoid being seen as a mermaid, so she flees. So the only thing Eric truly remembers is her voice, her singing voice, and he vows to find the woman who saved him. Back in the ocean, King Triton kind of notices that Ariel's behavior, she's kind of all, what do you want? What would you call it, Camilla? Like Willie,
Yeah.
Had into the sky sort of thing. Like she's like she's in a different mood sort of thing. And like her father notices and kind of questions Sebastian, like what's going on. And then Sebastian baits her out, not a very good friend, and tells her about Eric. And Triton just loses his mind and travels to Ariel's like grotto / hideout and destroys all of her collections of human artifacts, including a statue of Prince Eric that fell from the sea from the shipwreck earlier. And Ariel is devastated and she's crying. And then two eels floats them and jets them, convince Ariel to visit the sea witch, which just the name itself, sea witch, you should probably, red flag should be going up, but Ariel is convinced. So she flies off and, Sebastian tries to stop her, but she's just like, why don't you go tell my father? Because you're so good at that. That is some good sass and teenage attitude, by the way. I kind of like that scene. Anyway, she gets to Ursula's hideout layer, whatever you want to call it, and makes a deal to transform her into a human for 3 days, people, 3 days. In exchange, she has to give Ariel's voice. And we'll talk about the song, the amazing song. So within these 3 days, Ariel must receive the kiss of true love from Eric. And if she gets Eric to kiss her, she will remain human. Otherwise, she will transform back into a mermaid and belong to Ursula. And Ariel, of course, willingly accepts, signs her names on the dotted line, gets transformed into a human, and is found on the beach by Eric. And Eric kind of thinks it's her, but oh yeah, and then there's that cute little dog, like the mutt that is like trying to like tell Eric that this is the girl, but then finds out that Ariel can't speak, and it's just like, oh no, you can't be the girl from my dreams because it was the voice I fell in love with, like, and you obviously can't talk. So anyways, Eric takes her to his castle and it kind of like rescues her, and they spend time together. And at the end of the second day, they're rowing on the rowboat, and another great song, "Kiss the Girl," comes on, and they're this close, people, this close to kissing, but then floats them and jets them. The two eels flip the boat, and then Ursula is getting scared because it was too close for comfort, and she has like 1 day left. So Ursula disguised herself as a human named Vanessa, and using Ariel's voice, she appears on shore, and then Eric hears the voice and kind of becomes entranced or like hypnotized or like under Ursula's spell from the voice that Ariel gave her. And then the next day, Scuttle, the seagull, who's also Ariel's friend, is all excited because he hears Prince Eric's getting married, and Ariel gets excited thinking that, oh, he's gonna marry, like he wants to marry me. But she runs down only to find that Vanessa, aka Ursula, is the one that Eric is marrying, and that it's happening today, like that day. So they're getting married on some ship, and then Scuttle, who's flying around, discovers Vanessa's true identity as Ursula the Sea Witch, and immediately tells everyone. Sebastian goes to the ocean and tells Triton and Scuttle and Flounder. They all start rounding up like the various sea animals to kind of stop the wedding. This is also a really great scene. And then in the chaos, Ursula's shell necklace that has Ariel's voice is destroyed, and then Ariel gets her voice back, and and then Eric gets broken from the spell and runs to her and is about to kiss her, and then the sun sets, and it's like, oh. And then she loses her legs and becomes a mermaid again. And then Ursula reveals her disguise, which was also a great reveal, and just like grabs Ariel and like, sorry, lover boy, she's mine. And then dives into the ocean with Ariel. And then Triton confronts Ursula and demands that Ariel be released, but the deal is inviolable. So he shoots it with his trident, but he can't break the deal because the deal is legit. Ursula makes a deal saying that you can take Ariel's place, and then Ariel will be free. So Trident agrees, which we'll get into may not have been the best idea. But it's turned into, I had to look this up. It's called a polyp, which is basically just like this kind of vase-shaped organism in the sea. But in doing so, he loses obviously his powers and authority and you know, being king of Atlantica, or the sea. So Ursula picks up his crown in Triton and declares herself the new big ruler of Atlantica. And then Eric comes in with a harpoon and kind of attacks Ursula. And then Ursula is about to shoot the trident at Eric, but then Ariel jumps in, kind of pulls her back, and like she misses her aims and ends up killing Flotsam and Jetsam. And this obviously enrages Ursula even more. But Eric and Ariel are reunited on the surface, and they're holding on to each other. But then a huge Ursula rises up, and then the crown kind of separates them, which again, so many great scenes, but that was also a great scene.
That's a terrifying scene in the best way possible.
Yes. And then she like she's like this huge, like gigantic, like sea monster now. And then she kind of gains full control of the ocean, like all the power of the seven seas are now hers, and she's creating the storm and stuff. And like all these sunken ships are kind of like spinning around in like a whirlpool, and Ariel's in the center of the whirlpool, and she's like shooting her trident, trying to like attack Ariel. But then Eric jumps on one of the wrecked ships and starts steering it, and impales her with the pointy part of the ship, and Ursula is dead. And then Triton, as well as the other polyps or creatures that Ursula had taken advantage of over the years, they all got reverted to their original mermaid form. So great. And then Ariel's just like on a stone, kind of watching Eric be rescued by the humans on the shore. And then Triton kind of realizes that, oh, Ariel truly does love Eric. And Sebastian has a cute little line there about like, well, like I always say, if sometimes you have to learn to let go, or something like that. And it's like, you always say that. Anyways, Triton puts his trident down, or Triton puts his trident down. Oh my God, it's the same name. So Triton puts his trident down, and changes her into a human with a beautiful sequin, sparkly silver dress, and Eric and Ariel reunite. They kiss. They fall in love, and in in the sea, or all of her mermaid family and kingdom, kind of celebrating the wedding with the humans as well. And then that's the end of the story. Before we get started, there are some things I want to mention. It took a lot of effort from Disney. Okay, I'm not gonna, okay, I don't want to say Disney, but like from the directors or the creators of this movie, like they had to really pitch it really hard because in 1984, I don't know if you remember that Tom Hanks movie Splash. Like it was like a
Oh, I never watched it. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so that came out like 5 years before, and like they were like, oh, this is too similar, or and also there's supposed to be like a sequel to Splash, and they're worried that the story might be too similar to the sequel Splash, but there was never a Splash 2. But anyways, they approved that, and then the other concern was that like, oh, this is geared towards girls or whatever, so it's not going to be very successful. But it actually ended up being one of the most successful films of the year, and this movie was kind of the revival of Disney, where Disney didn't really have a blockbuster hit in a while. So this started what was called the Disney Renaissance period, where they started making The Lion King, Aladdin, The Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, like Pocahontas, like that Renaissance period of like all those great movies that you and I watched growing up as kids. It was The Little Mermaid that kind of heralded that movement of Disney, and kind of created that kind of Broadway cartoon of like there's going to be speaking parts, but then singing and then more speaking. So it's like a very kind of Broadway theatrical kind of setup or design of the store.
Mhm.
Yes, that's the story of The Little Mermaid. But obviously, The Little Mermaid is based on a Hans Christensen.
And we, on that topic, when I was a kid, one time, because we had a bunch of like VHSs. And so then I see this VHS Little Mermaid and I put on and I see, oh, it's not the Little Mermaid, the one I know, the Disney, but I'm like, oh, cartoon, it's fun. It's like, it was like a blonde Little Mermaid. And I'm like, oh, okay, and now one like makes sense because there's a lot of those movies where there's different versions. I watched this movie. I am just like, what? Talk about not a kid-friendly version. The real story.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. That's the thing. Is that okay? Like Disney does take a lot of like stories and kind of spins it, because like even the real story of like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty, like there's like an adult version of it.
Gruesome,
yeah, a little more violent or gruesome. The story of Little Mermaid was written by Hans Christensen, like in the early 1900s or whatever. But it was actually about he was in love with his best friend, but they couldn't be together, obviously. So he wrote this as a love letter to his best friend, as like being in two worlds, like wanting to love each other but not able to love each other, because it was a different time back then, and the idea of two guys falling in love or being together was like unheard of, sort of thing. So so kind of like it was meant to represent Ariel and or the Little Mermaid and the prince, like in two different worlds, but wanting to be together but can't because of circumstances. Yes, and then in the original story, Eric or the prince ends up falling in love with another person, with another woman, and is engaged, and the Little Mermaid realizes that the prince truly loves this person, and because she loves the prince so much, is not going to try and break them up or ruin it. So she kind of goes to 3 days, and the curse was that if you don't get the prince to kiss you, then you die. But what happened instead was that because her heart was so pure, she ended up becoming the wind that pushes the ocean or sails the ships and stuff. So there was kind of like a poetic, nice ending to it there. So it's like even though they weren't able to be together, she didn't die or have the misfortune. She became
still a very sad ending.
Yeah, but she became the wind, and like was able to guide lovers on the sea, and like guide people and stuff. Okay, Sleeping Beauty, the villain Maleficent, I found her to be kind of scary, like watching as a kid. Ursula really scared me as a kid. Like just like the way she moves, and then that transformation scene of when Vanessa becomes Ursula, like, on the boat, and she like her tentacles are sprouting out, and then she kind of just like, and like she like crawling on the floor, and she grabs Ariel. It's like that was kind of like and then yeah, when she becomes huge, and like it's like yeah, I remember like Eric and Ariel holding each other, and then like they get separated by like the crown, and then yes. So yeah, like I remember as a kid, like thinking that was scary, and then like yeah, and then even when she died, like lightning was coming out of her eyes and stuff. Like even when Eric like stabbed her with the boat, I was just like, this is too scary. But yeah, like I think Ursula is like kind of like a really good villain. Like there's other villains like Scar or whatever, but I think Ursula kind of captures that villain, like she's the full deal sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she's very cunning, because even at the beginning, I mean, she gave a contract, like, she knew what Ariel wanted, how to get her to sign it, but she kind of went about it in a legit way. Like,
yes, she's playing the game. She's playing the game. She doesn't mess around. She crosses her T's and dots her I's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the music. Oh my gosh, the music. Part of Your World. That is like such a beautiful song. It's like and then of course Kiss the Girl, that's my favorite. I just think that scene is so amazing, with like they're all jumping on the water and like on the rowboat, and they're all like, come on, go on, kiss the girl. And it's like, and they get so close, and just like, oh darn it. But yeah, what was your favorite?
I like the music. I still listen to the music to this day. Like I have a Disney playlist on Spotify, and their songs are definitely a part of it.
Okay, stay right there. Folks, we'll edit out the time difference if I'm not fast.
Okay. What is that? Oh, not the vinyl.
Yeah.
That's bomb.
Yeah, so Ariel's flounder is on this one.
So cool.
And then Ursula's here. Yes, no, because exactly to your point, like where it's like again, when I looked up, I was like 1989. Oh my god, I can't believe it's that old. But yeah, like 30 years later, I'm still like, I can still listen to it. And even on Spotify, like I'll listen to it. But yeah, I think, and then also like when she gives up her voice, that like when she sings, it's like, now sing, and it's like,
that's iconic too. Like you remember that singing.
Yeah, and then just like watching it come out of her throat, and then like it's like, and you can see her kind of gasp of like, my voice, and then it goes into her necklace.
And even that scene, how Ursula immediately gives her legs like no warning, and so it's just like they need to help get her to the surface.
Yes, because she can't breathe. Yes.
Like, whoa, give me a head start, lady. Like,
yes. And then yeah, just like her learning how to walk again, and then also like at the dinner table with like learning a fork, because Scuttle is so good. Like he's such a good friend. He means so well. He's just a little bit dumb, but like he's telling Ariel like, oh, this is a dingle dopper, and you use it to brush your hair. And then even the pipe where she blows it in the guy's face. Yeah, like it's
and I love that. No, Scuttle is great, and I love how it's incorporated into that song where it's like, you want thingamabob? I got plenty. And it's just like the fact that this is what she calls things. It's like, it was very well done.
Okay, so can we agree that Ariel has a lot to learn? Because now that she has her voice back, she's gonna be like, can you pass me that thingamabob? And Eric's gonna be like, what the heck are you talking about? You mean this fork? You want a fork? Or like you know what I mean, like a pipe, or like a brush or whatever. It's like she's gonna have to, she has a lot to learn. No, sorry, a lot to unlearn to kind of fit in. But one thing I did notice watching it back as an adult is like, she's like, Daddy, I'm 16. And it's like, yeah, you're 16. Listen to your parents. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be like, you're 16. You shouldn't be running off getting married or signing contracts at 16. Okay, like
maybe mermaids age quicker than us.
maybe I don't know. But yeah, so it was just kind of like, it was just kind of interesting. But yeah, I think like Poor Unfortunate Souls, if you listen to the lyrics, there's some clever words in it where it's like something about laryngitis, about like losing your voice like through laryngitis and stuff. So it's a very clever written song.
No, I enjoy, like, I mean, obviously, and I think we've mentioned before in previous podcasts, like some of these Disney movies, the early ones, they're amazing, but then, you know, maybe a little bit problematic in the sense that like, yeah, all these people are falling in love at first sight. And it's kind of just, that's where it goes from there. But still, they're very enjoyable. I like them.
Yes, and if you guys are Disney fans, oh, actually, I don't know if it's Disney. Do you remember that Thumbelina movie?
Oh yeah, I don't think that is Disney.
No, okay, well, okay, I will try to either put a picture or a link below, but Ariel's voice, she voiced Thumbelina as well, so you might recognize the voice there. And then if you guys watch Toy Story 2, listen to Barbie's voice, because that's also the same voice that does Ariel. So yes, she's Jodie Benson is her name, and she's had a pretty successful career. She did all the sequels to Little Mermaid, like 2 and stuff. And I think she even did the TV show. Like there's a TV show, I forget how long that lasted, but the TV show kind of took place before she met Eric or Ursula. Disney seems to be doing these days, they're remaking The Little Mermaid live action. So that should...
How have you felt about these live actions so far?
Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Hang on. I need to hydrate before I give my opinion on this. Okay, because you and I grew up on Aladdin, grew up on Beauty and the Beast, and now Little Mermaid. I haven't seen Aladdin, the live action version, and same with the Beauty and the Beast, because I want to protect my memory of Beauty and the Beast. Where I think that maybe if I never watched the original Beauty and the Beast, and I was presented to watch either the cartoon or the live action, I may go with the live action. But I just know that, like, you know, like every song they sing or every scene, I'd be like, oh, on the cartoon it was better, right? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I okay, but with that said, I am also kind of like super excited for the Little Mermaid live action, because the cast seems amazing. So I think I will watch it, because even before they announced the cast, I used to listen to, or not used to, I still do. There's this girl group, like they're two sisters, Chloe. I'm gonna say Chloe X Haley. So there were two sisters that would kind of do like R&B kind of singing, and I used to thought they had amazing voices, and they were on I don't know if you watched Grownish, which was like the spin-off of Blackish.
Oh no, I know of it, but yeah, I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
so they play like the friends of the main character there. So I haven't watched Grownish either, but I just know they're on that show. But like I used to listen to a voice where it's like, I'm trying to see, like I want to compare to something like someone like Sierra maybe, or you know, kind of like it's like R&B, so it's not like although some of them stuff are kind of energetic, but it's not like, yeah, like it's not like it's like very smooth, kind of like yeah. Yeah, so I think she's going to do a great job as the cast, or sorry, as Ariel. And then Aquafina, who is like hilarious.
Who is she in it? I love her.
Oh, you're gonna lose your mind. She, okay, again, I haven't seen any clips, or I don't even know if they've even gone that far, but she's playing Scuttle. So yeah, so
I love her.
so I don't imagine it'll be her dressed as a bird. I think it's probably gonna be a CGI bird, obviously, but we'll see. But also, if it is her dressed as a bird, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah, so I think that's amazing. And then Melissa McCarthy will play Ursula, which is great. Like to be honest with you, I haven't paid much attention to Melissa McCarthy in a while. But like like Bridesmaids and like stuff like that. Like I do think she's funny, and I think she could play Ursula pretty well, to be honest with you. Actually, who's the Prince Eric? But yeah, I don't like they said he's in some miniseries, but I think it's probably like those British BBC miniseries, like for Howard's End and Little Women, Little Women. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'd make a good Eric. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, Little Mermaid has always held a special part in my life, and I'm not trying to get all preachy here, but as a gay man growing up, you can definitely relate to some of these. I think that's probably the reason why like gay people love Disney and I go to Disneyland and love it, because you can relate to a lot of these movies of like wanting to be a part of the world, like knowing that you don't fit in where you are, like you want to be where the people are, and then like and it's like you can relate to that like as a kid coming to terms with who you are. Okay, actually, you know what? It's not even a gay thing. I think just as a growing child, like trying to become who you are, because it's like maybe like I don't relate to my parents or my family or my schoolmates because I might be slightly different or have different dreams than them. So I think yeah, like the Little Mermaid really strikes home that message of like trying to find out where you belong, and that maybe where you should belong isn't where you want to be or need to be. So I do think Little Mermaid captures that, as does a lot of other Disney movies. Like that seems to be kind of like a theme of like, like wanting to,
Yeah.
like that's a story, like, coming into your own sort of thing. Like, like Cinderella too, where it's like, oh, I want to, it's like it's that theme of like growing up and realizing that you don't belong with with that. So I definitely relate to that. Okay, what are your other thoughts?
Trying to think. I mean, yeah, it's a great movie. I don't know about live action. I'll check it out maybe. I've seen a couple of these.
Okay, so have you seen Beauty and the Beast or
I did. I saw Beauty and the Beast. So here's the thing. It wasn't bad. It wasn't. But I do think it lost some of the magicalness for me. That like and maybe it has to do with what I'm used to, what I grew up with.
Give me, what do you mean? I don't know what magic means. Can you use real words?
It's just like the feeling, the happiness, and the like joy that I feel watching the original, which I watched recently. Like I watched the original. I think it holds up. And then watching
but Emma Watson just sucks that joy out of you.
Well, also, I mean, her character is a little bit more sometimes she's a little bit snobby actually in the movie, but like that's how, not Emma Watson, like her character, like she's like the fact that she reads and these, and don't get me wrong, in the original movie too, they call them these poor provincial town, like that's how the song goes. But when a real person says it versus a cartoon character, you're kind of like, ooh, that's a little shade you're throwing here.
You're trash.
Like,
you're walking around town just be like, you're trash, you're trash, you're trash, you're all trash, look at me, I can read.
For me, it was kind of like, I don't know, but at the same time, like, yeah, I'll see. I haven't
okay,
seen
well, okay, so when it comes to live action, like I do worry about oh yeah, we completely passed over. Okay, first of all, Lion King, that is not live action, that is just CGI. Okay, call it what like when they called it live action, I was like, this is a lie, this is not live action, there is no real, this is CGI, just call it a remake. Don't call it live action. But yeah, sorry. Okay, but like I think that's like true, like where it's like on a cartoon or something, like you can do special effects or you can just do all that stuff. Where I think sometimes like when it's live action, like if the special effects aren't good, then it does take away that magic. Where you're like,
yeah, and some things just don't transition as well when you add that like the realism of real life, real people, whatever. It's kind of like, oh, okay. Like versus, it's you're given a little bit more artistic freedom in general with the story when it's cartoon.
yeah.
And it doesn't feel as cheap when like certain things, even story plots, feel a lot better in cartoon versus, yeah, sometimes in. But Little Mermaid though, I love it. I'll be curious to see. They've never done is Little Mermaid on Broadway or ever been on Broadway? Do they have a musical?
Yeah. Oh, and also they had a like live action Broadway, like during the pandemic. I mean, during the still the pandemic, but like I want to say like early March of this year. So like a year after the pandemic, like earlier this year. Yeah, there was also famous people in it. I can't even name a single one. I want to say Queen Latifah, Amber Benson from Glee. But yeah, like there were a few famous people. Because you know how they're doing kind of like Grease and like all these uh live action like it's part of like like spreading arts and the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I said Amber Benson. I don't even know who that is. It's Amber Riley. Sorry, Amber Riley from Glee.
I'm Amber.
Anyway, okay, so like Aquaman, for example, they did underwater. Did they do underwater good? They did. They did do underwater scenes good, right? So I just hope that the Little Mermaid live action movie, the underwater does not look like they're just standing on like in a
Yeah.
room, like in a room, like you want to see the hair moving. Speaking of hair. Oh, good. But yeah. So I really hope they do it well, and like I will watch it. And yeah, we'll see what happens, and maybe we'll do a review on that later. But okay, do you have anything else to say?
I think that's it.
Okay, final thoughts.
If you haven't seen Little Mermaid, well, I don't know why you wouldn't have at this point, but you should watch it.
And my final thought is you were 16. Listen to your parents. Okay, maybe this will just get cut. But King Triton, why did he knew Ursula would get the power if he signed away his life. You know what I mean? That was reckless behavior. Like that, he shouldn't have done that. I mean, yes, things worked out, but like Ariel was very close to dying, and so was everyone else. Like it was just by fluke or that Eric was able to stop. Okay, anyways. Anyways, that was The Little Mermaid. So if you didn't know, now you know. And thanks for watching our podcast. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment, and thanks.